Management 7160 Global Strategic Management, Team 2's Analysis of the Boeing Company. Boeing Company Overview. Boeing Company was established in 1916 by William Boeing in Seattle, Washington as Aero Products Company. In 1929, the company was renamed United Aircraft and Transport Corporation, and in 1961, the company shortened its name to the current Boeing Company. In September 2001, Boeing Company moved its headquarters to Chicago, Illinois. Currently, Boeing is the largest aerospace company in the world and is currently being led by Dennis Muhlenberg and has 153,027 employees globally. Boeing is currently engaged in the design, development, manufacturing, sale, and support of commercial jetliners, military aircraft, satellites, weapons, electric and defense systems, launch systems, and advanced information and communication systems. Along with the sale and manufacture of these products, Boeing also provides performance based logistics and training for their products as well as support services for the commercial airline industry. Boeing has four main business units. Their initial business unit was and still is commercial airplanes, which was started in 1916. In 1975, they added aerospace defense airplanes. And then in 1976, Boeing entered the space shuttle industry. In 2006, Congress awarded Boeing a contract for the technology component of its Secure Border Initiative. Global Services, which was added in 2017, is Boeing's newest business unit and is focused on innovative services in engineering, digital aviation, and analytics, as well as supply chain logistics and training support. With Boeing adding this Global Services unit, it makes Boeing a full circle comprehensive aerospace company with cost competitive solutions regardless of the original equipment manufacturer so its customers can reduce costs, drive efficiency, and optimize operations. Boeing's organizational focus is to be the best in aerospace and continue to be a global industrial champion by connecting, protecting, exploring, and inspiring the world through innovation. They have several values that they operate by: integrity, quality, safety, and diversity and inclusion, trust and respect, corporate citizenship, and stakeholder success. Boeing strives to take the high road at all times by practicing the highest ethical standards and honoring their business commitments by being accountable for their successes and failures. They take quality and continuous improvement very seriously and aim to exceed their stakeholder standards of excellence. In doing so, Boeing values human life and handles all incidents, injuries, and workplace illnesses very seriously. They also strive to foster a collaborative workplace that engages all employees in finding solutions for their customers that advances their common business objectives with openness and inclusion. The following slide is a representative list of their Vision 2025 goals, some of which include design and manufacturing excellence, market leadership, and efficient productivity. To be in step with these goals, Boeing has developed a set of organizational principles that guides their business decisions every day. Boeing strives to lead with courage and passion, treat customers' priorities as their own by investing in their employees and fostering a supportive workplace environment, collaborating with other companies and with candor and honesty while dominating the market using manufacturing speed, agility, and scale. Boeing does all of this so as to deliver marketplace results with excellence and accuracy. Here is a snapshot of Boeing's industry portfolio. Boeing's fiscal year follows a calendar year and has grown by 10.25% since 2014, despite having sales declines in 2016 and 2017. Their cost of goods sold growth has increased by 16.54% since 2014, with a gross income growth of 28.67% comparatively between 2014 and 2018. Boeing's stock snapshot as of June 30th, 2019 is listed here. While Boeing stock prices have ranged between $292 and $446 on average a share, the company has seen a market yield of 2.26%.
Let's look at the corporate strategy of Boeing. Corporate strategy encompasses vertical integration, diversification, implementing corporate diversification, strategic alliances, merger and acquisitions, and international strategy. Boeing participates in a number of stages of the commercial aircraft supply chain. Boeing's integration strategy is driven by whether it drives competitiveness in future aircraft designs, value creation for its customers, and acceptable risk, to exert greater control over intellectual property, and to avoid delays and cost overruns. It has recently entered a joint venture with seat manufacturer Adient and is making 777 wings and avionics. The plan is to further vertically integrate in various other components of the aircraft, such as engine pylons, face, fan and exhaust cowls, thrust reversers, door and windows, nose fuselage sections, fuel management systems, and flight control computer, to name a few. It also set up a pilot center of excellence in South Carolina. Boeing's diversification can be classified as a related diversification by playing a dominant role in the aerospace industry. They have diversified their portfolio and forayed into missiles, helicopters, satellites, drones, and products in defense and security. Their four main diverse segments can be classified as commercial airplanes, defense, space and security, global services, and Boeing Capital Corporation. 60% of the revenue in 2008 came from commercial airline segment. Let's look at how Boeing implements corporate diversification. Diversification strategies must exploit economies of scope that are not available to the outside investors and competitors to be valuable. The best organizational structure for implementing a diversification strategy is thought to be the multi-divisional or M-form structure, which has several components. Accordingly, these components in Boeing are divided into board of directors, institutional investors, senior executives, corporate staff, division general managers, and shared activity managers. Boeing has a high vertical and horizontal differentiation. High horizontal differentiation is due to the fact that it needs vast requirements to build many complex Boeing products. There's a CEO which oversees all the heads of manufacturing, purchasing, marketing, finance, and human resources. Boeing has a standard corporate structure with 14 board of directors that oversee the current president and CEO, Dennis Muhlenberg. Departments are broken out by both major product lines and by standard business departments such as HR and legal. These departments create a high vertical differentiation within the company. Due to their large size and product differentiation, they work with a matrix configuration to maintain and build efficiency. Horizontal structure is further subdivided into smaller units or departments. Each department has a departmental head that oversees that division and all employees in the division. Lower level management reports to the department head, who further reports to CEO, CFO, or COO. This structure works to create individual and specific divisions that oversee specific functions of the organization. Due to the nature of defense industry, Boeing occasionally forms teams with other companies that are competitors in other areas to provide customers with the best mix of capabilities to address specific requirements. Boeing has announced a lot of strategic alliances with different companies. A notable one is they announced a partnership with Aerion for developing next generation supersonic aircraft. DST Group and Boeing also entered a strategic alliance to conduct collaborative research in a range of defense technologies. With Lockheed Martin, it has entered a strategic alliance and formed a company called Hellfire Systems. They're also looking at co-development of F-22 Raptor defense program, alliance to form next generation air transport systems. They've also entered into a strategic alliance with Fujitsu for aircraft maintenance services, with Terma to supply products for 777, H-47, Chinook, and Harpoon missile simulators. Other strategic partners include Siemens, GE, Embraer, Mitsubishi, Turkish Airlines, to name a few. Boeing Company has acquired 32 organizations so far. The majority of this acquisition, amounting to 68%, have been done in US. Some of the notable acquisitions and mergers include a joint venture with United Launch Alliance, which has served as the nation's launch service providers with its Delta IV and Atlas V rocket. They have entered into a horizontal merger with Embraer. Boeing expanded its position within the narrow body aircraft category and became a leader within the regional jet market as a result of this merger. Uh, and they also vertically merged with KLX in May 2018 to expand its presence in supply chain management, which further built upon its acquisition of AVL in 2006. Boeing International was established in 2001 and is responsible for the company's international strategy and operations. Boeing's global reach includes customers in approximately 150 countries and employees and operations in more than 65 countries. Boeing has more than 20,000 suppliers and partners and has 11 research and development centers. It has 16 consortia and 22 joint research centers, and it has entered into a relationship with more than 50 international universities to increase its international reach. This slide shows the global span of Boeing and parts manufactured globally in various countries. It shows how big Boeing is and how much of collaborative effort goes to produce a commercial airline.
Hi, my name is Howard Nguyen, and I'm covering the current Boeing 737 MAX problem. Lion Air Flight 610 was scheduled as regional flight operated by the Indonesia airline Lion Air from Soekarno-Hatta International Airport in Jakarta to Depati Amin Airport in Panai, Penang. But on October 29, 2018, The Boeing 737 MAX 8 operating the route crashed into the Java Sea roughly 12 minutes after departure, killing all 189 passengers and crew. This is the first deadly crash involving the Boeing 737 MAX as well as the deadly crash involving the Boeing 737. About 4 months later, on March 10, 2019, Ethiopia Airlines flight number 302, the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft which operated the flight crashed near the town of Bisofu 6 minutes after departure, killing all 157 passengers on board. After these crashes, the airline industry around the world starting to ground the Boeing 737 MAX, beginning with Ethiopia Airlines on March 10. China ordered all MAX aircraft ground in the country on March 11. On March 13, Canada received new information suggesting similarity between the crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia and grounded the aircraft. An hour later, President Trump announced U.S. grounding the planes. The FAA issued an official grounding order, citing the new evidence and acknowledged the possible upset cause for the two incidents. The US, Canadian, and the Chinese regulator oversee a combination of fleet 196 aircraft, nearly half of all 387 airplane delivery. Why MAX? We have to look at 10 years earlier to find out the root cause of the problem. Boeing always faced threat from new competition, new product, and the search for new ground. All the time, it tried to cut cost saving. The event that led to the two fatal crashes was set nearly a decade ago, and the problem started not with Boeing, but with the company our rival Airbus in Europe. Boeing 737 and Airbus A320 are the two main players in the massive market for narrow-body passenger jet. Together, both companies cover nearly half of the world's 28,000 commercial airlines. Both manufacturers are locked in a competitive to make their airplane cheaper for airlines to operate, especially when it comes to jet fuel. For example, in 2018, Southwest Airlines fleet of 751 Boeing 737 burned for a total of 4.6 billion in a year. So a 1% increase in the fuel efficiency would save Southwest Airlines 46 million per year. That is why Airbus and Boeing always tweak their fleet to squeeze single percentage point improve out of them. Then on December 1st, 2010, Airbus shocked the airline industry. It has developed a more efficiency version of the A320 called the A320neo. It would burn about 6% less than the new Boeing 737 NG. Of course, everybody loved it. So in the face of the threat from the Airbus A320neo, Boeing needed a solution very quick in a matter of weeks. They would introduce a fourth generation 737 and finish very quick based on the new max of the 737 design. Boeing could save billions of dollars in engineering costs. The engineers started working hoping to compete it after Airbus launched A320neo. There's a few hiccups in order to deliver on time. Since it's based on 737 platform, it will take a lot of work to modify the 46-year-old platform with all the current technology as the A320neo. At the same time, the engineer could not modify it a lot. Per regulation, a pilot can only fly type of aircraft at a time, but the FAA permits different models of the plane with identical design feature to share a common type certificate. So in this case, the 737 three priority generation have a common type certificate. When the pilots get qualified on one model, they can fly all of them, including the new Max. So Boeing allowed itself 6 years to complete all of this. To compete with the Airbus, it would have to break the one unbreakable law of project management that is developed cycle cannot be cheap, fast, and good. If it failed, Airbus could gain around 35 billion market for a single aeroplane at least for a decade. That is why Boeing could not afford to fail. 2 years into the development, Boeing promised Max could be 8% more fuel efficiency than the Airbus A320neo. So Boeing bragged that pilot certificate periods of the 737 could switch to the Max with just 2.5 hours of computer-based training. So between its fuel and training efficiency, the Max seemed to be a winning prospect for the airline. Before the first actual test airline, Boeing already sold a record-breaking 200 billion worth of Max. The design problem: to keep the new Max with the common type certificate as 737, software engineers had to recreate a 40-year-old analog into a digital format. To cut costs further, Boeing also outsourced software development to other countries for at little as $9 an hour. The same developer for an H-1B visa would cost $35 to $40 an hour. There was something else Boeing has not revealed about the 737 MAX. After 8 days after the line air crash, Boeing stated that they would like to call attention to an angle of attack failure condition that can occur during manual flight only. In other words, Boeing described that the exact series of the event that brought down the line air. This failure condition would keep happening until and unless the pilot knew and flipped the stop trim switch to cut out. This system was buried deep somewhere within the Max software, but Boeing only gave very little information to the airline and the pilot. The, announce, the announcement did not give the system a name or clarify what it was designed to do. It only stated that if an error, it can cause a plane to crash. So finally, Boeing admitted what everyone had feared: something wrong with the brand new 737 MAX. The MAX had a new set of engine called LEAP 1BS. This, en- this engine are much more efficiency than the one on the 737 NG, but they're also much heavier and larger. This creates a design problem. The engine on the NG sits only 18 inches off the ground, and mounting the LEAP 1BS in the same spot gave them too little clearance during takeoff. So Boeing placed them further forward and slightly higher on the wing of the MAX. That solution created a regulatory problem. To sell the same type certificate, the FAA required that they need to handle the same way. So this plane debugged with a new anti-start system known as MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristic Augmentation System. To compensate for the problem, it now seems that many pilots were not even made aware that MCAS was active on the plane. According to Boeing, the pilots were on a need-to-know basis about the MCAT, and until the Lion aircraft, Boeing felt that they need to know. Boeing's goal was to add a system to make the handling feel the same on the Max as it did on the previous model. But they did not let Max trainer pilot on the MCAT during the different training course for the airline that took delivery on the first example of the re-engined narrow body. Boeing also did not include the MAX detail in the flight crew operating manual (APCON). But after all this crash, they admit that they should have done both. Here's the timeline of the MAX problem. From the time the MAX introduced in 2010, it takes roughly about 10 years before the Fed suspend the aircraft. If you can see over here in May 2017, that's the first airline delivered to customer. And it takes roughly about 2 years later, the FAA suspend the MAX. Here's the summary of the MAX problem. As you can see, they have problem with the aerodynamic and the engineering design. The sensor are not dependable at all, and they also cut corner on the software development. And they allow the customer to take the plane without a warning light. They give them as an option. The pilot also don't have the training and the managed log. Finally, the FAA go along with the company that they're supposed to be monitoring.